when your heart is tired.
You know, I wasn't even going to go ahead and push this even further and post an actual video on YouTube exposing how much of a fucking moron the CEO and I think it's the co-owner, fucking Gilly, whatever the hell his name is. It's Guille, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even know what the fuck to do. I just assume he's the co-owner, but how incompetent both of these fucking morons are. And listen, I'm sorry if I sound extremely heated and just like irritated, because I am. I'm actually heated and irritated. And for people who've known me for years now, and people who have been watching me on Twitch, I never get pissed off. Never get pissed off over anything. And even when I was being followed by Nick's time and he was going in there giving me death threats, I laughed at it. I didn't give a fuck about it. And honestly, you probably never even heard me cuss this much, but I am that furious at how incompetent these two fucking morons are. And it's not even about the game itself, on how incompetent they are at running the actual game, or their, I should say, their franchise. And it's not even that. It's more so the way they manage, the way they mistreat, I can't even say treat, the way they mistreat their employees. They overwork them, sexual harassment, all that shit. And it makes zero sense to me. I don't understand what goes through their fucking heads to make them think something like that's okay. And if anything, I feel bad for the development team. I absolutely feel bad for everybody who has to who cashes a paycheck from both of these fucking morons. I feel bad for every single one of them, from the very top to the very lowest person in the entire organization. I feel bad for every single one of them, that they have to fucking work for such a piece of shit like Augie and Gilly. It's terrible. It's absolutely horrid. And if you haven't seen the article, I forget who's by it now. I'm so fucking irritated right now, I can't even think straight. But if you haven't seen the article about the gaming studio from hell being Chromatic Games, and some inside information from old developers that used to work for them who no longer work for them for the reasons that I'm about to say next, I will post that link to that in the description. And let me tell you, they fucking hate it. Gilly and Augie, they fucking hate it when people talk about that article. They despise it. It pisses them off. They lose sleep overnight when people talk about that damn article, because they know it's true. They know absolutely that everything in that article is true. Now, the person who wrote the article, they say it's all allegations, which, you know, this was in 2022. It's 2 years later. They say it was all allegations, which all we know, like, it could be allegation, but I'm about to show you how some of that stuff, I can guarantee you, is absolutely true. Just from what we see on the Twitch streams. And I'm not talking about Augie's Twitch streams, which are a fucking chaotic mess. But I'm talking about the Wednesday stream, the Dungeon Defenders 2 Wednesday streams with Payman. You can see just how, like, irritated that the employees get when Augie walks in the room. You can see it on their faces. Like, you don't have to be a psychiatrist to sit there and look at these. I want to call them kids. That's just because I'm 31 years old, so I want to call them kids, but they're not. They're grown men and women. But you can see their facial expressions change. You can see the anxiety come over them once Augie walks in the room. And like I said, you don't have to be a psychiatrist to understand that. You don't have to be some type of like expert to see that. Anyone who's ever dealt with anxiety or any type of mental disorder, you can see it on their faces that they automatically, like, it just changes. It changes the tone of the room. Everything just changes when he walks in there. You can see how stressed out they get when he's around. It's crazy. It's like, it's instant. It's instantaneous when they change their facial expression. If you don't believe me, look back. Look back at every Chromatic stream or every Wednesday stream that Payman has done where Augie has walked in there. And I feel so bad for Payman more than anyone. Well, I shouldn't say more than anyone. Aiden, I feel bad for Aiden more than anyone, because Aiden's one of the most hardworking guys in that entire gaming studio. He's the lead developer of DD2. He's the reason why DD2 even exists anymore. It's not Augie. It's not the money he puts into it. Like, you can argue that if without Augie, Dungeon Defenders doesn't exist. You can argue that without that. If Augie sells the company right now, the company gets shut down, everyone gets fired, they all get laid off and kicked out. As simple as that. The company shuts down. But Aiden is a driving force behind Dungeon Defenders 2. He does 99.9999999% of the work for Dungeon Defenders 2. He is a driving force behind everything. Behind everything. If Aiden's not there, there's so much stuff that does not get done. He is so talented. It is insane. And he's young. He's young. He's still a young kid. He has so much potential. And I feel so bad for him because not only does he love his job, and like all the developers, they all love their jobs. Like, if they didn't, they wouldn't show up every day. Or maybe they're just showing up because it's a paycheck. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe they're scared to start over, which honestly, I can relate to that. I worked at a toxic workplace for 9 fucking years, and I didn't want to leave because I was terrified to start over. And when COVID hit, I finally decided this is my chance. I'm gone. It's like, I will figure it out. And I went through one of the most worst mental breaks in my entire life because of that. Because I blamed myself. I started bitching at myself saying, why the fuck did I leave? That's stupid. Why didn't I just suck it up and get over it? But now it's 2024, 4 years later, and I didn't realize how bad I had it there until I had the bosses I have now who treat me with respect, who pay me right, who like understand me. And I didn't realize how bad I had it before until I was actually treated correctly. And this goes for like even toxic relationships. You don't understand how bad you had it until you get into a good relationship with someone that actually cares about you. And that's exactly what these developers are going through with Augie and Gilly at the top. That's exactly what they're going for. They don't understand how bad it is there, how toxic the workplace is, how stupid the owners of that company is, until they actually get a job at a good gaming company, getting paid correctly for, like, valued at where they're supposed to be at. And you know what makes this even more disgusting is that most of the developers and like the graphic design artists in there, they're all out of college, or they're either in college and they're interns, or they're out of college and they're coming from the Florida college, state college or whatever. And Chromatic Games is located right around the corner from there, right around the corner. So it's so easy for these kids to get a job. A starting job with a indie company by just walking around the corner and bang, their work is right there. It is just that easy. And anyone who lives right by their job, I live right next door to my job. I love it. I love it because of that. Even my old job that I worked for 9 years, I loved it. I lived right next door to that as well. Absolutely loved it because it was just ease of access. But anyway, so if you haven't read the article, go ahead and read that article. Go ahead and read it. It's a very long article, but it's worth reading. There's developers that used to work for the company, developers that we know. They even mentioned their community manager getting fired. Guess who that was? Andrew. If you've been around for a few years, you know who Andrew is. You definitely know who Andrew is. When I first started the game, Andrew was the guy I always went to. Always went to him. He was the guy that gave me the roles and all that stuff for the DD2 Discord for me to start posting my content in there. And you can tell, they don't name him, but you can tell they're talking about Andrew. There's so many developers in there that people who have been playing the game for a while probably recognize. Even if they don't name them, they know them. So go ahead and read the article. And here's one thing about that article that I was saying that I know for a fact is not an allegation. I know for a fact that it's true. And that part is the part about the Huntress. The allegation was that Augie would have, well, I'm not sure if it was just Augie or Gilly, whatever. They had the female employees, not the male and female, just the female employees. Remember, these are college kids. college kids. It's someone's fucking daughter. These are college kids. Ask them if they want to cosplay the Huntress in whatever events that they do. Now, obviously, it was a question. He wasn't saying you are supposed to, you need to do it. But the employees said that they felt like they were obligated to do it. Like he wanted them to do it. Now, it is what it is. All right, cosplay the Huntress, whatever. It is what it is. The Huntress is the only female character of the original 4. Whatever. It means nothing, right? Until you realize Augie, he's married. He calls his wife, he refers to his wife as the Huntress. His wife's Twitch account, the Huntress. He refers to his wife as the Huntress. But now he's out here having these college kids cosplay the Huntress. He has a weird fucked up fantasy about the Huntress. And that's absolutely disgusting to even see these kids like that. Disgusting. And I don't know how old he is, but no one his age, no grown-ass man his age should be preying on college kids. I don't even care if the age of consent is 18. These are kids. These are legit kids. You don't ever put your power above these kids like that, making them feel like they have to dress up like your fantasy, your Huntress fantasy. What type of fucking weirdo energy is that? I wonder what his wife thinks of it. She's probably a fucking psychopath too. I probably shouldn't have said that, but she probably is too. She's probably okay with it. I don't know. Now I'm not saying he's a fucking pedophile. There's a few people who have brought up things with DD2 or Dungeon Defenders lore that the Huntress is actually under the age of 18, yada yada. He has a weird fantasy. I don't think he's a pedophile. I wouldn't go that far, but I think he has some weird fucked up fantasy about the Huntress, which is why he refers to his wife as the Huntress and refers to or has his employee or wants his employees, not has them. He wants them to cosplay as the Huntress. He's not asking the male employees to cosplay in fucking heart boxers with the Squire. He's not doing that. He's not into that probably. I don't know. I'll fucking show up to the Chromatic headquarters and heart boxers cosplaying the Squire. I got you. I'll put just my undies on. I'll fucking do it and make him really feel awkward, just like he did with his employees. But that's like just one thing. If you read the article, there's so many things in there that you can pick apart and you can tell. You can absolutely get he's still doing it. He is still doing every single thing in there. And it's the only reason why they fucking hate that article. And what pisses me off the most, when he was first confronted about it, about like a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, when he was first confronted about it, I could show you the Discord messages. So when he was first confronted about it in Discord, by, I don't even know the guy, it was a guy, I didn't even recognize his name, but he posted the article and it was like, is this true? And Augie, from his Discord account, DevJuice is his Discord account and his Twitch account, like his personal Twitch account, not Chromatic Games, like his personal Twitch account is called DevJuice, which by the way is banned in my stream. It was banned in my stream a while ago. The CEO of Chromatic Games, the game that I streamed 3 days a week, every single week for 4 years straight, I banned the CEO from there. Because I have one rule in my stream and he broke it multiple times. I gave him so many different chances and he kept breaking that one fucking rule. And even after I told him, stop, he's continuing to, he has zero respect for me. So I have absolutely no respect for him at all. But anyway, so when he was confronted about that article, you know what he said? I can't make this up. He said, I'm sorry. My people want me to go eat a burger now. What? What? You were just confronted about allegations, serious allegations. Not only that, but there was allegation in there about not only like in office things, but tax related things. How he was in debt and all that stuff. And how he owed taxes, he wasn't paying his taxes and stuff like that, which is criminal. It's criminal. And when he was summoned, when they were in the process of getting a warrant to summon him to court, he ended up paying $2,000 to get them to stop that process. Now, the ironic part is, right next door to Chromatic Games, right next door to their office, is the tax office. The IRS. The IRS is next door to the Chromatic Games. It's hilarious. He takes 3 steps over and just pays his fucking taxes. That's all you gotta do, bud. And if you're not going to pay your taxes, they gotta take 3 steps to the left, and they're at your front door. How stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? Anyway, so that's besides the point. The way he reacted to someone confronting him about those allegations is so disrespectful and so negligent. It's insane. I'm sorry. My people want me to go eat a burger now. What? Are you fucking kidding me? And you can, like, this, I'm sorry. You could tell he wasn't sincere about saying he's sorry. He doesn't care. He just wants it to disappear. Like, he didn't deny it. He didn't say, yeah, we fucked up in the past and we're going to try to be better. Or, my bad, not try. We are going to be better. That's the way of going about that. We fucked up in the past. We're going to learn from our mistakes and we're going to move forward. We're going to make a better atmosphere for our company so our employees enjoy coming to work. That's how you deal with that. And not only do you say that, you do it. You do it. Who would want a bad atmosphere? If I owned a company, I would not want my employees to hate coming to work. I want them to come to work with a smile on their face. I want them to love to work for me because it makes me feel good at the end of the night, knowing I'm doing good for people. I don't understand how he could sleep. Well, I actually understand exactly how he could sleep. He has a fucking pool. He has a pool in his front porch. He has a pool. He lives in $1 million house, multi-million-dollar house. Of course he's gonna fucking sleep at night. You know, he don't give a fuck. Anyway, but that is, I could go on forever just talking about it, but I really strongly encourage every single person to, I don't care if you play Dungeon Defenders 2, Dungeon Defenders Awakened, Dungeon Defenders Going Rogue, Eternity, I don't care. I don't care what Dungeon Defenders you play. I highly recommend you go and read this article, make your own thoughts about it. I'm telling you, like, you have to read this article. You will see, and you look back at the old dev streams, you see everything I'm saying is true. And I really wish I could actually go into detail about what's going on, but I can't because I was a playtester for a few months. I have NDAs and all that shit, so I can't say certain shit. And I wish I can, but I could see how they function. And it's crazy. It's mind-boggling to me. But I mentioned earlier that he did a stream on Twitch, on the official Dungeon Defenders account earlier today. Now, I was at work when it was happening, so I was just, like, we're busy. We had a football game on, we had a baseball game on. We're super busy at work, so I couldn't really spend too much time there. Like, in the middle of me working, I'm over here texting on my phone on Twitch. But the only reason why I'd seen he went live, the only reason why I caught him live was because Bread Moon Might DM me on Discord saying he was live, and I'm like, oh shit, this is my opportunity. And it was a really bad time for me at work, but I had to take the opportunity to actually confront him in front of the people that were watching. Now, whether they care or not, I don't really care. But I don't care whether they care. But the ones that do care are the ones that I want all this information out there for. Now, obviously, Dungeon Defenders 2 is a free game. People are just going to play the game because the game is a fun game. I don't hate the game. I love the game. I think this is probably one of the best games I've ever played. And I have like 2 hours under 10,000 hours in this game. And I loved every bit of it. And I don't want people to think that I'm hating on the development team or any of that. This is purely anger towards Augie and Gilly. Those are the two guys that just piss me off. Everybody else, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I have not a problem with anyone else. I have so much respect for this development team. It is crazy. I'm telling you. I really wish I could go into detail about it, but I can't. But there is so much talent with this development team, and the only thing stopping them from being as great as they can be is the two guys upstairs, Augie and Gilly. Those two guys are stopping them from being great, and it's as simple as that. But anyway, so they had a stream, and here, actually, let me bring up the chat so I can let you know what I said. But I'm gonna show you the stream, and I'm gonna let you know kind of like, well, actually, I could show you the chat log. I have the chat log right here. But this is when I first confronted him. Now, Bread Moon Might, this guy right here, he also streams on Twitch. He's a really cool guy. He DM'd me on Twitch with this question. Hi Augie, as a member of the community, I have a concern. Was there any official comment about the 2022 Polygon article about the studio? He DM'd me that question, asking, basically saying if he can, if he should send it. Now, I was at work, I was busy. I thought he was trying to tell me to send it. And I said, fuck it, I'll do it. But I sent it, and he completely ignored it. You can see I sent it at 8:31 UTC time, which was 4:31 my time. And then a few of my buddies made some jokes about it. You can see they were making a joke about the burger, because everyone's seen that comment in the DD2 Discord. It's so disrespectful. A turkey needs his attention. He was actually cooking a turkey on stream. Then Bread Moon sent the message again a minute and 48 seconds later, and Whoop sent it again almost a minute after that, and that is when he finally noticed it, or finally decided to reply to it, after the third person said the exact same message in a row. You could kind of see there was really no messages in between for the most part, so it was the only thing on the screen, so he had no choice but to have read it. But this is his response. Now I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on what he's saying. Hopefully you guys can actually hear what he's saying.
Hey Augie, as a member of the community, I have a concern. Was there any official comment about 2022 Polygon? You know what?
Also, by the way, all the lagging and the weird audio stuff, that's not on my end. This is actually the stream quality that he's streaming from. You would think if you own $1 million house, multi-million dollar house, you will at least have decent internet. Probably not, though.
I get canceled all the time.
First issue, he says he gets canceled all the time. That is an issue within itself right there. If you're getting your ex-employees don't quote unquote cancel you for no reason, and definitely not all the time for no reason. If it happens multiple times, there's a problem.
It happens. Now, COVID was terrible. Coming out of COVID, like, hey guys, let's come back to the office. We need to be in the office. Of course, people aren't happy. It happens.
He starts blaming the employees for not being happy because they have to come back to work. If you know these employees, you know they're some of the most hardworking people you ever meet. Some of these employees, they don't work 9-to-5 jobs. It's not a 9-to-5 job. They work way more hours than that. And he's sitting here saying that they're lazy, that they don't want to come back to work.
Happens. It's not the first time. And you know what? I can't make everyone happy. You know, I love my employees. I try to give them all.
You love them a little bit too much, bud. You wish they dressed up as the Huntress. You love them a little bit too much.
All the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes it just does not work. And I'm sorry, you know.
That's the weakest sorry ever. That's even weaker than the one in Discord.
Yeah, you know, it's life. Can't make everyone happy. Yeah, I tried that.
Now, at this point is when he mentioned most, or hang on, let me see.
A lot of it was untrue.
Oh, then he goes and says a lot of the things in the article is untrue. He said a lot of it is untrue, which means some of it was true. And if you read the article, you know, you kind of see every little thing mentioned was bad. So if some of that was true, that was still bad. But he mentions that most of his employees are happy with him. And I say, in quotations, most. I probably should put a question. Like I said, I'm at work, so I couldn't really do much. But I said most, which means that there were unhappy employees that he's acknowledging were unhappy for a legit reason. He's acknowledging that by saying that.
Hyperbole. And I'm fine with that, you know, that's why.
Oh, that's even better. Wait.
Yeah, you know, it's life. Can't make everyone happy. Yeah, I tried that. A lot of it was untrue. Hyperbole. And I'm fine with that, you know, that's what happens online. People are allowed to lie online, especially if they don't show their face. If people don't show their face or their name, they just lie. They just straight up like, oh, hyperbole, lie, hyperbole. Look at half the politicians. They lie out of their ears.
Are you ready for this? He says, first of all, he says hyperbole. The word he means to say is hyperbole. Hyperbole is the word that he means to say. But he is so anxious right now and so thrown off guard that he doesn't even understand, like he doesn't even know how to speak English anymore. He starts to say hyperbole. Hyperbole is not a word. It's hyperbole. And if you don't know what a hyperbole is, that is when you say so, or you exaggerate on something, and it's not meant to be taken as the truth. Like, for example, I have I'm trying to think of a perfect example for it. So let's say I went out to go buy grapes. I went out to go buy fruit, right? And someone asked me, hey, did you pick up that fruit? And I said, yeah, I got all of it. All of it referring to, like, I bought everything in the store. I bought all the fruit that could ever exist. Obviously, I did not buy all the fruit that ever exists. It's not a lie, but I'm exaggerating. I bought a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit was purchased by me, which is true. A lot of fruit was purchased by me. I bought a lot of fruit. I didn't buy all of it, but it was understood that when I said all of it, I wasn't necessarily meaning I bought everything. That's what a hyperbole is, which clearly is not the case, because the people who were bringing these allegations against Augie and Gilly. Now, Augie's the face right here. Gilly's not here. Gilly is not really a guy that comes out a lot. He does pop onto a lot of streams with Augie. He's the guy that plays the guitar. But because he's out of sight, which Augie's correct here, a lot of people can lie when they're out of sight, when their name isn't out there, when their face isn't out there, like Gilly. His name, his face isn't out there, so he can lie, he can say whatever the fuck he wants, and we have to believe it, right? Not true. Augie just said that. That is not true. It's silly. Their logic is so silly, but this is what happens when you catch someone off guard. They just start like yapping about stupid shit. By the way, don't forget the original question I should say Brad originally proposed to him is I forgot the original question. But was there ever any official comment about the Polygon article about the studio? Any official comment about it? And he goes ahead and starts yapping about all this stuff. All this stuff starts yapping about. None of it matters. The only logical thing, that he used to answer it was saying that false allegations, they all lie. Lie. They're all liars. Well, except some of the things in the article that are true. That's literally what he just said. But anyway.
Hyperbole, and they exaggerate the truth.
This is not Frozen. This is the stream. This is his stream actually fucking up.
It happens. Especially if you don't show your face. So, it happens. Oh well. And that's just life.
It's just a slideshow at this point.
Happy. You know, it's can't make everyone happy, but I try. I really do. Because I really do care about the community. I really do care
Lies.
about
Lies.
And, you know, most of them are really good people. And it's really hard seeing that happen.
True. Most of them. Oh, this is where I said most. When he said most of them are really good people. I know a lot of the staff team that works with, a lot of them. People that aren't in the public's face yet. The ones that you guys don't know their names, the names of them. They are some of the hardest working people. I swear to God, I will hire any of them under me right now. I will hire any of them to come work for me. Any of them. They are so hard working. It is insane. The amount of like attention to detail that they put into not only Dungeon Defenders 2, but the entire franchise, Dungeon Defenders 1, for all those updates, DDA, all of that. It is crazy the amount of work and the fantastic job that they put in. And you can go around, you can nitpick about all there's 1,000 bugs in DD2, yada yada. That is not the development team. That is Augie. I'm telling you, this is Augie. I've been defending the devs since day one, and people called me a fucking moron for it. And I'm telling you, it is Augie and Gilly. They are the reason. They set a deadline, and they tell you this is when the game gets released, whether it's ready or not. They refuse to upgrade the server, which they did recently, but it took them how long? Even then, they're still shit. They're still shit. They're trying to push things that just aren't possible. Anyway.
Really hard.
They being, once again, they not being the development team. I absolutely loved, I have so many friends in the development team. I love every single one of them. They being Augie and Gilly.
Seeing good people get hurt. I will definitely say this one thing. I will give an analogy, a superhero analogy.
I'll wait for this.
What happens when the villain can't hurt the hero? What happens when the villain can't hurt Superman? What happens?
He just called himself Superman, first of all. And this next thing he's about to say, I kind of feel like was in reference to me.
They go after their friends.
I think when he said that, he was thinking that I was going after the development team, which is the most untrue thing. If you look back at any comment I made even on Skunky's videos, when Skunky was tearing the dev team apart, I went after him for it. And I said it is not the development team. I'm telling you, it is not the development team. And I keep saying this, and if you watch me on Twitch, you would see the hashtag on my every single Twitch stream that I do is hashtag in payment we trust. That came specifically from this, because I seen on the Wednesday streams, I seen how much anxiety that payment gets when Augie enters the room. I see how much anxiety he gets from it, just from the dev streams. I see it. And I really hope other people do as well. I see it. And you can tell that they have zero faith in what any of these developers are doing. Zero faith. He wants to micromanage everything. You can tell. You can absolutely tell. He just makes things so fucking awkward for every single development or member of the development team. He makes it so awkward for them to even just do their job, to pay their bills. Which is why the hashtag came out, in payment we trust. Because I 100%, when Payman took over his role in the company, I knew it was going in a good direction. And we see that. My viewership on Twitch skyrocketed with Payman being in the position he's in now. Skyrocketed. It went through the roof. He brought Twitch drops. Well, I mean, I guess you could say this is biased, but he brought the monkey backpack, which I am forever thankful for. And I wish I could tell you our conversation about that, but I kind of can't. But Payman, I felt bad. I thought Payman was only doing it because I was the only consistent streamer, and he just did it because he felt bad or something. But after a while, I realized it took a while for me to convince myself I actually deserved it. And honestly, I still would be streaming consistently even without it. It was just a bonus. But he brought the content creator pro. He brought so many things to us. And he didn't need to. He absolutely did not need to, which is why that in payment we trust hashtag was even a thing to begin with. Because I seen the potential in him from day one. Simple as that. Well, not from day one. I didn't meet him until like maybe a year after he started working there, I believe, or maybe a few months. I don't know how long he's been working there, but from the time I actually had my first interaction with him, I could tell he cared a lot. Not only about his job, but about the community. And this goes for Aiden. I really wish I could name off the other developers, but I really can't. I'm not allowed to. But this goes for all the developers. They don't just work for the company. They are Dungeon Defenders fans. They are fans of the game that they work on. Which, honestly, in this day of age, it's hard to see. It's hard to find.
Villains go after the friends of the heroes when they know they can't go after the hero itself. And that happens all the time. What do you do in a situation like that? What does Superman do in a situation like that?
He's not Superman.
You just try your best. That's it. You just try your best to make everyone happy. You try your best. You have these options. You have 5 options on the table. All right. None of them are good options. This option's bad. This option's bad. Which of these options is the least bad? Which is the best?
Well, the rest of this is all just him just yapping away. So he mentioned politicians, they lie all the time, yada yada. He mentioned that, and if you don't know what filibustering is, I'm going to explain to you real quick. Filibustering is a technique used in American politics. I'm not sure if it's used outside of American politics. I don't follow outside of American politics, but I follow American politics very closely. Filibustering is a technique used mainly in like the Senate and in the House in order to delay any type of like change. Like if they're trying to sign a bill or sign something into law, they need a certain amount of people to like say, hey, I like that, it's okay. A lot of times, instead of giving a yes or no answer, they would just start yapping away like Augie's doing right now. They start yapping nonstop, and it just takes up time. And it's called filibustering. It's been around for ages, but it's gotten worse within the last couple of years. Whatever. This isn't a political conversation, but he mentioned politics, and ironically, filibustering is a thing used in politics a lot, and Augie did exactly that. He did exactly that to avoid answering this question directly. He just started yapping away until no one really even remembered the original question. And you could kind of see here the timestamps that no one really was talking until like he started doing the giveaway again, and then everyone started talking again. But like you can tell by looking at these timestamps, it was just a dead chat at that point. And well, me, I was going off. I was pretty heated at work. But that's the story of why I dislike Augie and Gilly. There's so many other things I wish I could say, but unfortunately, due to NDAs and other reasons, I do not want to go into detail because I could get myself in a lot of trouble, and I don't want to do that. But hopefully this explains a lot, and let me know what you think about the Polygon article.
But I fall so easily. So what do you say? Would you walk this world with me? Would you walk this world with me? With me?